Hello again from Fox News in Washington. Speaker of the House is a big job. He or she leads one half of Congress and is second in the line of presidential succession. When John Boehner announced his resignation last week, it seemed almost certain his number two, Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, would succeed him. But suddenly, that's in doubt. Joining me now, Republican Congressman Jason Chaffetz of Utah, chair of the powerful House Oversight Committee. He says he's seriously considering a run for Speaker. Congressman, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Thanks for having me.
Just 5 days ago, you said you supported Kevin McCarthy for Speaker, and it was widely assumed that as Majority Leader, the number two position in the GOP caucus, that he would move up when John Boehner moved out. Why are you even considering the idea of running against McCarthy?
Kevin McCarthy is a good man. He's a big reason why we have such a solid majority. But things have changed, and there's really a math problem. You need 218 votes on the floor of the House. There are 246 Republicans that will vote, but there are nearly 50 people, a growing number, that will not and cannot vote for Kevin McCarthy as the Speaker on the floor. He's going to fall short of the 218 votes on the floor of the House.
So, what are you going to do? Are you running for Speaker? Are you going to put your name forward when the House caucus votes on Thursday?
Today, here, I am announcing my intention to run for Speaker of the House of Representatives. We were entrusted by the American people with the largest majority the Republicans have ever had since Babe Ruth was swinging the baseball bat. But they didn't send us here to perpetuate the status quo. They want us to tackle the tough issues. They don't want us to fight. They want us to fight. They want us to take that fight to the Senate. They want us to take that fight to the President. And they want us to take that fight to the American people.
So, before we get into some of the substance, I want to ask you about the procedural issue because it is complicated. There's first this vote in the House GOP caucus on Thursday. Then there's going to be the full vote at the end of the month. Do you pledge to support whoever wins the vote in the House caucus on Thursday, or even if you lose, will you take your candidacy to the full floor at the end of the month?
Again, I think Mr. McCarthy has the majority of the conference. We're going to have that vote on Thursday, but in many ways, it doesn't matter because the real vote is when you have to call that name out in front of everybody on the floor of the House. So the vote on Thursday, it's closed door, secret ballot. I will support the nominee, but I just don't believe that the nominee, if it's Kevin McCarthy, can actually get to 218. That's why I'm offering myself as a candidate to try to bridge that divide. I think those 50-plus people find that I'm a fair, even balanced person, that I can bridge that divide between our more centrist members and some of the more far right-wing members. That's why I've entered this race.
So basically you're saying you will continue your candidacy until the full vote of the House at the end of the month.
What I'm saying is if we walk out of there, and I want to win, I hope I win, but there's no doubt that Kevin McCarthy has majority of the people in our conference that do support him. They like him.
He's raised money. Or are you saying you're going to?
I will walk out of there and support the nominee. I hope it's me. I'm trying to fight for that. But if it's Kevin McCarthy, I will support him. But he still has the math problem. It still can't get to 218. And I hope we can avoid those problems, bridge the gap, turn the fight, instead of internally, turn that fight to the Democrats and fight for the things that we all came to Congress for.
Why do you think 50 plus whatever, and they're more hardline conservatives, won't vote for McCarthy, but would vote for you?
I think the American public wants to see a change. They want a fresh start. There's a reason why we see this phenomenon across the country, and you don't just give an automatic promotion to the existing leadership team. That doesn't signal change. I think they want a fresh face and a fresh new person who's actually there at the leadership table. And the Speaker's role, you've got to speak. You've got to be able to articulate the Republican message to the American people and take that fight to the President. But you also have to bridge internally, and that's where we've got some conflict going on right now.
And how do you explain? What do you mean that you would bridge the internal conflicts better than McCarthy?
I do. I think, well, he's been in existing leadership for years and years, and the strife and the divide is getting worse. It's not getting better. And so what I'm trying to offer is we need internal process reform and how we select the committees, who the committee chairmen are, bringing more votes to the floor. I don't expect, Chris, that every vote we bring to the floor that we win. I want to vote more, not less. I don't want these things to be pre-baked. I want the committees to be more empowered. And I think that's what our broad membership wants on the full political spectrum.
So what are you saying, basically, that you would be more amenable, more friendlier to the hardline conservatives, the Freedom Caucus, the Tea Party people than Kevin McCarthy would? That's one question. And the second one is, would you be any more effective than McCarthy, given the fact you're still going to have President Obama, you're still going to have enough Democrats in the Senate to sustain a filibuster, so how are you going to be any more effective in taking them on?
Well, look, internally, I do think we have to bridge the divide, and you have to, I'm being recruited. I didn't wake up last week and think that I was going to run for Speaker, but I've had enough members who've come and said, please, Jason, do this. We don't want to fight internally, but realistically, we can't vote to promote the existing leadership. So that internal factor is there, and I think will continue to the floor of the House when that vote actually happens. And I think a new, fresh face who says, look, how are we going to hold the line for the full political spectrum? What is it we're actually going to fight for? I am not there to just perpetuate the status quo. I am not there to just do what Mitch McConnell or the president wants to do. That's not what